Who are you?
I'm J57. I'm an MC producer. Grew up on Long Island. Been living in Brooklyn almost 10 years.
Why do you make hip-hop music?
I make hip-hop music because, I don't know, I grew up listening to it, always loved it, and then I got a couple of beat-making programs for free back in early college, and that's what I wanted to make. I didn't want to make anything else.
If you could choose 3 albums that the younger heads have to listen to, what would they be and why?
3 albums that I would have the younger heads mandatorily listen to. Illmatic, because in my opinion, best hip-hop album of all time. Number 2, in no order really. Number 2, Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, for the same kind of reason. Number 3, I would probably say, I don't know, let's say The Chronic, just so it's well-rounded, just so they can understand.
What was hip-hop's best year?
Hip-hop's best year, a lot of people like to say like random shit like 86 and stuff like that. I feel like, I don't know, man, it's a tough one. For me, like, you know, the late 90s were really like my era, like where new shit was coming out when I was like in high school and whatever else. So I don't know, I want to say, I know the best years were like probably like 93, 94, 95-ish. But like for me personally, because what I experienced, I want to say 97, no, I want to say like 98.
Who's your favorite new hip-hop artist?
My favorite new hip-hop artist, I'd have to say, it was Kendrick for a bunch of years, but now he's not new anymore. I don't know, maybe like Travis Scott. I like him a lot. I know he's not like a rapper, like a real rapper, like he makes good songs, but I like that.
Who's the most underrated artist out now in your opinion?
Most underrated artist out right now. Royce. I know he's getting the props he deserves, but I feel like more. I think he should have a little bit more, even though he's doing good.
If you could collaborate with any artist dead or alive, who would it be?
Any artist dead or alive? It's always in my head. It's always it's got to be somebody dead because you can't do it. It's either Freddie Mercury or Nina Simone. Probably Freddie Mercury because I just really want to make some stadium shit with him.
What is your favorite guilty pleasure artist or song?
It's a tough one. There's a lot of them. Favorite guilty pleasure artist would probably be damn, I don't know, man. I like a lot of pop music. You know what I mean? A lot of real Miley Cyrus.
What is your favorite hip-hop beat of all time?
Favorite hip-hop beat of all time? That changes a lot. Damn. Nas is like, and it's not just because the shouts to Premier or anything like that. Like, for real, it's probably been that way since I was a kid.
If you could go on tour with anyone, who would it be and why?
If I could go on tour with anyone, probably Kanye, because I'm sure he'd be bizarre backstage and hilarious, but I think a tour with him would be insane.
What is your craziest tour story?
Craziest tour story? Well, my best one is on my birthday. We were in the United Kingdom, and at midnight it turned, you know, my birthday and all that, and it was me and Concept headlining, doing our own tour in Europe, and it was a sold out show, and there was like a line down the block and people listening and shit, and that was dope. But that wasn't the crazy. The crazy part is that we partied, because it was my birthday at midnight, we partied till 10 a.m. their time, which was really, I guess, I don't know, 6 or whatever, like, not really, like 5 our time, but we partied till 10 a.m. their time. So I hope my mom doesn't watch this.
Name one place in the world you would visit if you could.
I'm mostly Italian, so I would love to go to Italy, Napoli or Calabria. Those are the 2 cities I'm dying to go to really bad, just to see where my roots are from.
What is your favorite city away from home?
As cliche as it is, I'd say LA is my favorite city outside of New York City. I'm a New Yorker, born and raised, and always gonna be, but LA, I love it.
Where were you the first time you smashed?
My parents' house.
Who's the baddest chick of all time?
No comment.
Why the name Bag AllStars?
Long story short, I mean, It's really because we were buying Coronas and 40s at the bodega around the block from Fat Beats in New York City, where we used to work, where we all met and everything. And we weren't even a group yet, we were just a crew, and the dude always put like everything that we bought in a brown bag before we left, so he wouldn't get like some kind of like, you know, ticket or whatever for like doing that, I guess, because we were buying like 40s and shit, you know, not like a 6-pack or a 12-pack or something. And we would have these parties every week. We just close the store, I guess Eclipse would bounce and whatever else, and then, you know, the cat's away, the mice will play kind of shit, and we'd have like mad people and have parties, and before you know it, I remember it being like 6 a.m. and I'm cleaning up a million 40s in brown bags from all over the place. And after a lot of those parties, we just started calling ourselves that as a crew. And then one day I was like, yo, let's go to the homie Belief's crib and record some music, and then became a group. But we were just calling ourselves that as a joke.
What's the craziest story you experienced at Fat Beats?
The craziest thing I ever experienced at Fat Beats, there's too many. I worked there for 6 years, and I would sleep there sometimes because we'd party all night or have shows till late, out of town, out of state, and then I have to be there in time. So we've done a lot of stupid shit there. But the craziest thing for me was that I met Eminem there. That was pretty crazy as a Eminem fan.
How did that happen?
Eminem came in actually first, Alchemist and Mr. Porter came in. They came up to me, dapped up, said what up, and before I knew it, didn't realize because I wasn't really looking, but I was talking to Paul Rosenberg for like a good minute and didn't realize it. And I looked up, I was like, oh shit, and then I'm like, yo, what up? Gave him a pound, never met him before. Met the other two though, and I was like, oh, that's crazy. And I'm talking to him, before I even realize again, Eminem, who's way shorter than Paul, is right next to him. And I was like, oh shit, what up? And he was like super like nice and was just like, what up, man? Gave me a pound and shit and was like super cool. And to me, I mean, I met my idols there. I met Kool Herc, Premier, Eminem. You know, the list goes on. But the Eminem one was the craziest because he's a celebrity who I never met before. You know, so it was cool.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food changes a lot. Matagot, manicotti, as the non-Italian Americans call it.
What's your favorite drink?
My favorite alcoholic beverage is definitely whiskey, but I drink vodka probably the most because it's so easy to drink it. I can just keep going, as crazy as that sounds.
What's your favorite movie of all time?
My favorite movie of all time, it's a toss-up between Vanilla Sky and Willy Wonka. That's how my mind works.
What is a typical J57 day?
Wake up at like 7:30, answer emails because if you do that early, people are probably not up and annoying you and replying right away and trying to like take your time or ask you for a favor if you don't really know them. That's a fucking thing, as we all know. So I rifled through my email and then I got a to-do list. I have OCD, so I have a real to-do list. Like I could show it to you. It's almost embarrassing. And whatever that is, I'm just beasting each thing out as creatively as possible, and nobody's bothering. My phone's on airplane mode. I'll do that until fucking 1, and then I'll eat somewhere in between, gotta do that. Sometimes, have some meetings in the city, go here, go there, have meetings, go to another studio, have people come through. It depends on that exact day, but a typical day starts out where I'm just all business, getting shit done, and then I want to be creative, because that's what I am. So I need to write a verse and make a beat, or finish a verse or finish a beat, and then go to either meetings or studio sessions until I pass out.
Were you ever suspended from school, and why?
I wasn't suspended. I was definitely at in-school suspension a couple of times. One time I was with a bunch of friends that were like smoking weed or some shit, let's just say that, and they were, I wasn't, and and we all got caught and just got like in trouble and had in-school suspension. It wasn't really that crazy though.
What was your first job?
My first job, I worked at a golf club, Nesquik Golf Club. My boy Ports put me onto that job when we were 16 or 15, and we worked there up until I moved to Brooklyn 10 years ago. So I worked there for a few years,
What was your first car?
First car was a car that was in the family. It was an old, it wasn't really old, Saab. It was the family car, and then parents got a new car, and then they got another new car, and that one was still around, and it was in good ass condition, so I'm mad grateful, and always was. So it was a dope kind of whip to have in, you know, the end of high school and early college and shit. Until I got into an accident, but that's another story.
If you could smack anyone in the face, who would it be?
Slim Jesus. And he would, I would knock him and like 3 of his friends out. That's the funniest part.
How do you want to be remembered?
The most prolific producer of all time.
Do you have any shout outs or future projects you want to plug?
Yeah, shouts to you for having me, Rapology all day. I think the next project is definitely Concept and J57. The Fuel EP comes out November 20th, and that shit is fucking fire. Alright, cool.